It was headline news last week when the Cordish Company finally announced a groundbreaking date for their 25-story One Light apartment tower at 13th and Walnut.
It is the first market-rate residential project of that scope since the 1970s, and some believe a tipping point in the push to reinvigorate our urban core.
April 14th will be the big day, but it's just one of numerous efforts underway to double the number of people living downtown within the next 10 years.
Those giant cranes aren't up on the skyline yet, but in recent months, work has been underway at a pair of projects that will put more new apartments within the bounds of what's considered to be downtown. The Founders on Union Hill and the River Market West apartments at 3rd and Wyandotte both plan to open their doors to renters within the next year.
We're looking at a new construction infill product, 5 stories wood frame construction. So we're looking at an average square foot size for a one bedroom of about 740 or 50 square feet. And we're going to be looking at rents around $1,100 to $1,200 a month.
George Burt has witnessed the slow evolution of residential real estate in these parts, starting with loft conversions and rehabs of existing, sometimes historic structures. But the recent success of the Market Station apartments and what he sees as some serious changes in the renter's profile stand on the verge of changing the game.
Historically, people would rent because they didn't have the money to buy a house or a down payment. They didn't have a family yet. They were fresh out of college. They generally had a roommate often. But today, there's a new generation of echo boomers, and they have a much different view of the world. You know, to them, maybe owning a car or 2 cars doesn't make sense. Maybe I'll just own one and I'll use mass transportation when I can.
Those high-tech, low environmental impact millennials are, of course, an important part of the equation. But so are the growing numbers of empty nesters, eager to leave behind the suburbs and their lengthy commutes. And both have recently witnessed the conventional wisdom on home ownership turned on its ear.
With the last housing crisis where you had deflation in the housing market, you're seeing people saying, well, maybe houses aren't exactly what they're cracked up to be. And not only that, you got to do maintenance, insurance, upkeep. There's things involved in owning a house that are burdensome, but particularly if the kids are no longer around or you don't have any kids. That's driving this emphasis toward higher density and toward downtown where you get a lot of the cultural amenities. And it's a more efficient use of resources. You can backfill all your existing infrastructure. You've already got sewers and water lines and power lines, and so you're not going to build all new and have to then support all that new infrastructure.
The residential population downtown in 2004, I believe, was 5,000. It's now over 20,000, so in 10 years it's quadrupled. In terms of generational longevity, both for the rest of downtown and for the Power and Light District, what the additional residents will mean for the grocery store, for the movie theater, for our bars and restaurants, and then what those bars and restaurants and other amenities mean for the viability of the residential, it all works really well, and the whole is greater than the parts.
You know, in the grocery business, you want residential. Somebody that's going to buy more than just an apple or an orange. You want somebody that's going to shop a little bit more. I mean, that's our business, is to take care of people that live in an area. And so the more residential, the better the store can do. Obviously, building a 20-story tower is going to hurt us for a while because of all the construction, but that's okay. I mean, you know, you got to have those things to get the good things after it's all done. It's going to be great.
The arrival of a downtown grocery store 5 years ago marked a major milestone for urban dwellers. People like former Brooksider Mark Sappington. Mark's an attorney who works 122 steps from his condo in the Wall Street Tower.
Instead of driving and being frantic because of all the crazy drivers, I can sit here and watch the sun come up and read for a half an hour, an hour. So that just adds time to my life, quality time to my life. Yeah, it was fantastic. And it's very, very much a neighborhood. I'm very involved in Kansas City Ballet. Many of the dancers live downtown. I see them walking on the street. We'll see our neighbors on Saturday mornings because everybody's walking down back and forth from the city market with their purchases. You get diversity too because there's a mixture of people. It's not just people like you.
Inevitably, any discussion of living downtown brings up perceptions of safety and security. Sappington, for one, says it hasn't been an issue. Bob and Bonnie Holland emphatically agree. They moved from their home in Johnson County 9 years ago after an illness left Bob in a wheelchair and largely limited to cumbersome trips they could make in their van.
Overland Park in Leawood, it's never easy to find a handicap space. We would go for 2 weeks at a time and not go anywhere except the grocery store because it was just so inconvenient. And down here, it's just a matter of going down the sidewalk. The library's 2 blocks from here. The theater is 2 blocks from here.
Concerts are 4 blocks.
Yeah.
The art district is within 6 blocks. So First Fridays are wonderful. A little busy, and it's kind of hard with wheelchairs sometimes, but they're great.
Sometimes when that late night ice cream craving hits, the block and a half to the grocery store is almost too close, Bonnie says, but at least they're not driving to pick it up. As happy as being in the middle of it all makes them, the Hollands do have at least one thing on their wish list.
More retail.
Yeah.
It would be nice if we had more shopping down here.
What? I'm glad I put a jacket on.
As the city continues to evolve, one of the most important things is it becomes a 24/7 downtown.
Except for the waterfront, Baltimore might offer a good glimpse of what the future could hold for downtown. The Cordish Company is headquartered here. Years ago, they redeveloped the Inner Harbor, complete with an entertainment district that closely resembles Power and Light. But it's the next phase, the one they call Harbor East, where the residential ante has really been raised.
Well, what's going on there are about 10 to 12 major high-rise developments over top of great restaurant and Whole Foods grocery store, and it's a continuation of what the core Inner Harbor is. And I think you said to me, where's Kansas City heading? Where I believe it will and can and should is the precedent of Inner Harbor East.
With a price tag of nearly $80 million, the project designed to jumpstart the process here doesn't come without risk. But even with rents nearing $1.75 per square foot, P&L's Nick Benjamin projects that One Light will be 90% full within a year after it opens in fall 2015.
We'll have free Google Fiber in every unit. All of the residents of One Light will get free membership at One Light Fitness. It could go on for a while. We'll have free access, obviously, to the Jones Pool. You walk out your door and, flying saucers right across the street, and, 1 block you can go Drunken Fish, you can shop at Garment District, you can catch a show at the Sprint Center or the Midland.
If I'm right, which obviously putting our money where our mouth is, so to speak, that other developers will take notice and that other buildings will follow. And that is terrific. That is what we want. Some people would say, well, it's competitive. It's the question of, is more restaurants good or bad, for surrounding neighborhoods. It's a rising tide.
Already, more and more plans are afoot to repurpose some of downtown's most visible structures. From the vertical city that Bob Berkebile envisions for the Commerce Bank Tower, to the old Folgers plant on 8th Street. Spurred by the streetcar, a Colorado developer is eyeing the crossroads for another new apartment building. One unlike One Light or River Market West, without any incentives from the city.
People say, well, when will you quit needing incentives to develop downtown or to build apartments in particular? Once we get our rents for new construction from, today they're about $1.50, $1.60, and we're hitting or approaching that $2 per square foot mark, then you'll need fewer and fewer incentives to bridge or close that gap.
I think you got to spend a little money to show that the city's viable, that there's economic activity, and then the private sector will step in, and hopefully for lesser and lesser amounts.
There were some real visionaries in the early to mid 2000s who, from a pretty dark period, put together a plan that made sense and worked and took a lot of effort and a lot of ideas. But if we keep doing things right, we're going to be in a really good spot in 10 years.